Hello there everybody, this is Krista and welcome back to Crochet Witch Tarot, and today we've got our final installment of my 2022 deck collection videos. So today is not any of the seasons that is not centered. Better. We are going through all of my decks that are not tarot or oracle. So we're looking at my Lenormand decks, playing card style decks, and I do actually have a spell deck. I know, who is she? Anyway, we're gonna start with Lenormand because that is mostly what we got going on here. And let's start with the one I've been using the most lately, and that is the Yuletide Tales Lenormand by Laura, who we all know I am quite the fangirl of as of late. Look at these backs, first of all. This one has been so much fun. This, you know, we're gonna bring this in because these are all gonna be smaller decks, mostly. Okay. I love Faina's art style. It's just the perfect mix of kind of this like folkloric, cute, creepy style. I just think it's so fantastic. This has been so much fun to use throughout December. Each of these cards points to a different character from, I'm pretty sure, sort of like, I mean, it's Yuletide tales from many different cultures, which has been so much fun. I actually have the matching big book to go along with this, which just goes through a few of the different tales, which is really, really fun, and shows the artwork from this. So what I really enjoyed doing with this deck, actually, I did use it as a regular Lenormand deck, but I also would use it with my morning tarot readings, where I would pull one of these cards and almost use that tale that was portrayed as a guide of sorts. Really, really fun, and just so good for this holiday season, but this one will be out all winter long, I have no doubt. So that is the Yuletide Tales Lenormand. And why not just go right into the other deck of hers that I have, which is what really struck my newfound love for Lenormand, the Nocturnal Garden Lenormand. So this is one that I had been looking at for so long, but just couldn't feel like I could justify getting because I wasn't really doing Lenormand readings. Turns out I just didn't really have a Lenormand deck that interested me. I had the Pixies Astounding Lenormand, which, you know, worked well enough, but the images just didn't really interest me. Turns out, for my brain, that's a big deal. Because as soon as I got this deck, it has totally changed the game. I do Lenormand readings all the time now. I've loved learning about it. I mean, look at that, the Baba Yaga house. So good. This really built my love for Lenormand decks and still is such a favorite. I really, really enjoy this one. Such great production quality. I love her artwork, and I think it really does stand out so well on this black background. It's so good. I love this fish card. And the, come on, that's good. So, that is the Nocturnal Garden Lenormand. Alrighty, next up we've got another doubleheader from the same creator. This is the Pink Sugar Lenormand from Logan Townsend, who is Larkin Legend on social media platforms, but I love this deck of theirs. They came out with this on Kickstarter this past year. There was the Pink Sugar and Black Salt. And I didn't end up backing on Kickstarter because, again, it was at a time where I just felt like I couldn't justify getting a Lenormand deck, but this one has sat on my list. I really couldn't decide between the two, but ultimately This is my favorite pink color of all time. We just had to have the pink. I love the metallic details. I think Logan's choices on how they portray so many of these cards, I think is so much fun. Like the, oh, I can't think of what it replaced. But there's a Tamagotchi in one of these cards. It's so much fun. And just, again, really, really beautiful cardstock production quality that is for sure a theme with Logan's decks. And they have teased at a tarot deck coming out on Kickstarter early this year, the Black Salt Tarot, which looks so amazing. So it's in the same style, but a tarot deck. So I do have to say that influenced my choice as well, because I thought having the Pink Sugar Lenormand to pair with that Black Salt Tarot would be so much fun. Loved it. There it is. Isn't that so good? Burden. I mean, for any of my Tamagotchi havers, wasn't that such a burden? There was a time in elementary school, I was in elementary school and those became really, really popular. So we all had one, and those things beep like nothing else. We all had them at school. It was for sure a distraction. I do get it. So they got banned at our school. And so, but the problem was, you know, we were at school for 6-7 hours. If you left your Tamagotchi that long, it was gonna die. So my absolute saint of a mother carried around our Tamagotchis with her for so long during the day, and she would take care of them during her day. Isn't that like absolute parenting award? Is that not the craziest thing you've ever heard? Amazing. Anyway, so that was the Pink Sugar Lenormand. The other Lenormand deck I have from Logan was one that Andy picked up for me. Right? Yes, Andy got me this deck. Oh, and then picked up the Moonlit Fae bag for me while she was at the Northwest Tarot Symposium, which I am so happy to have. Look at these possums. Oh, I didn't even say what it was. This is the Precious Possum Lenormand. And this one is such, such a treasure in my collection because, of course, it's possums. So cute. Is this not the cutest thing you've ever seen? This Lenormand is so awesome. I have to say that Logan's guidebook for this one is really, really incredible. This is one that I've really been using a lot to just learn Lenormand meetings a bit better. I love that birds card. It just feels like it brings in all my favorite thing. Namely, of course, possums. Like, look at that Sailor Moon possum. Are you kidding me? So good. And look at it in his little hobbit home. Oh my gosh. I can't. This is just the best thing in the whole world. I love it so much. Highly recommend. If you are a possum lover, this is just a must. Oh, so good. So good. So that is the Precious Possum Lenormand. Okay, next is actually another, actually the next two are Andy sent me these kind of thing. This is the Paper Oracle, which is by Eric Mail. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Very sorry if I'm not. Same creator though as the Inkwitch Tarot and the new Endless Oracle. So I backed the Endless Oracle, was loving it. So Andy sent me her copy of the Inkwitch Tarot and also this Paper Oracle because she wasn't really connecting with it and thought I might just want to give it a try. And I've been loving it. So this is the Paper Oracle, but it is pretty much a Lenormand deck. I think there might be some extra cards. I'm not sure. I've not gotten to play around with this too much yet. But I love Eric's art style. I'm not usually one for this kind of watercolor, sketchy style, but for some reason, Eric's art is just, it's it. It's it for me. Look at that book. Because it feels magical in a really interesting way. I don't know. I really, really love it. I just think it's so pretty. I love the size of these cards. I'm really excited to get to know this one more. Look at that for the cross. I mean, so cool. So cool. I love seeing the different ways people approach Lenormand cards because they are such a set of cards, I guess you could say. You would think there's not really much wiggle room, but people are so imaginative with it, and I think it's so, so cool to see. So, that is look at the familiar, I mean, come on. Instead of like a dog card, I think? I don't know, pretty sure. That is the Paper Oracle. And next, I'm not really sure what this one is called. It just says Lenormand, but it's got this blue owl on it. Not super sure. The guidebook was in another language, so I think I didn't get rid of it, but it's just being kept somewhere else now. But this is a very classic Lenormand deck that I've really enjoyed using as well, because I like that we get the playing card association on here. It's given me a way to learn that as well. But I do also really love the kind of vintage feel of this one with the artwork. I think this one is really, really cool. This one I find connects really well for ancestral type readings for me. I'm not exactly sure why, but they always seem to favor this Lenormand, which I really enjoy using Lenormand also as kind of confirmation cards with their positive and negative associations. But I really, really enjoy this one. It's just like a nice classic Lenormand, which I really enjoy having. And again, love the playing card association on there. So that is Lenormand. It just says Lenormand on the box with the blue owl. So here's the box again, in case you want to look for that. Not really sure. What does that say? It says this on the top too. It's gonna focus. You can do it. Come on. Come on, you got it. I believe in you, camera. I do. You know, whenever I just want it to focus on something, it says, no thanks. There we go. Okay. It says that. Don't know what that means. Do with that what you will. I actually did make a spreadsheet of all my decks for these videos, and I just had to write Lenormand on there. Luckily I know what it means, but anyway. I've got one more Lenormand deck that was a gift from my lovely friend Jess over at Jess Reads Cards. Me, her, and Amanda from Venus and Virtue did a little Yule gift exchange, which was so much fun. And so this is what Jess got me, the Celtic Lenormand. I'm so excited about it. This is one of those decks that, like, gosh, it has been on my list for so long. But do you ever have those decks where it's like, no matter how much you like it, for some reason you just have a block around actually buying it for yourself? That was this deck for me. So I was so excited to see that that's what Jess picked out for me. Because now that I have it, this has been the Lenormand I've been using, like, ever since it came in. The artwork is so gorgeous. The artwork is by Will Worthington, who I am such a fan of. Same artist who does the Wildwood Tarot. Yes. And it just feels so magical. And I love that you don't have, like, the word on the cards. It leaves it a little bit almost open to kind of intuitive reading a little bit. But a lot of them are pretty recognizable as to what they are. But I've really been loving this one. I love all the different choices you get for the cards. So, like, for example, this would classically be the dog card, but they give you cat option as well. So, of course, we had to do that. You get 3 different choices for bird cards, so you could kind of switch them out seasonally, which I think is so cool. So I picked these 3 barn owls because, I don't know, felt seasonal to me. But this is just such a great deck, and the guidebook is amazing. Another one really, really good, I think, for learning Lenormand, because I still am very much in the process of doing that. But I love this one. Such a good surprise. So that is the Celtic Lenormand. All right, moving along, let's get into, I've got one playing card deck here and another playing card style deck. So let's go into the playing cards. The deck I have is the Little Reaper playing cards, which this is so cute. I'm pretty sure you can still get this on Etsy. The creator is art by Vikram. I backed this on Kickstarter maybe a little over a year ago now, and I just think it's the best thing ever. I mean, come on. Every card has its own unique Little Reaper illustration, which is amazing. I don't think they necessarily, this was not like put out for divination use, so I don't think the images necessarily line up with any sort of divination meaning in mind. But regardless, they are so fun. That's probably my favorite. How cute is that? And I don't do much reading with playing card decks. I would really like to learn more about that. But when I do, this is my one. Like, this is my one playing card deck because it's just so cute. I do have some regular bicycle ones somewhere that we use for like card games, but this one is reserved for divination use. It's so much fun. I just think he's so cute. This box sits out on display just because I want to see it at all times. Look, I mean, come on. How cute is that? So that is the Little Reaper playing card deck. And next we've got a playing card style deck, and that is the Conjure cards, which have been really interesting to spend some time with. I don't really feel like I know this deck super well yet, because the readings I feel like this is suited for are just really interesting and different from anything I typically would do. It feels very future predictive, which I don't usually do any sort of, well, I guess in a sense, a lot of readings in a way are kind of future predictive, but this is like very specific, you know, which I don't tend to usually do, but I'm really interested in doing with this deck. I have to say, this one feels very dramatic to me when you read the guidebook meanings. So if I'm using it as like a daily poll type purpose, usually I read the messages and in my head just like tone it down a little bit. Put it into like that everyday meaning type of view, which, you know, I think you have to kind of do with any divination system. Like, if you pull the tower, it doesn't necessarily mean like everything around you is going to come crashing down. It could be as simple as like you spill your coffee that morning. So you kind of have to put it into perspective. But it's been really interesting to play around with. I'm excited to learn it more in the new year. It's really a cool one. I've been enjoying it. So those are the Conjure cards. And I think that leaves us with our last deck. How cool. Okay, and this is my one spell deck. That is the Fairy Enchantments. Oh, we gotta zoom out. Nope, that's in. Am I gonna do that every time? Probably. The Fairy Enchantments deck. This is by Ian Daniels, so the same creator as the Vampire Tarot that has become really popular this year. Now this is a really, really cool deck. It's very multifunctional. So how it works is we have these beautiful illustrations of different deity figures, really. Mostly Celtic. I think actually all Celtic, I would say. So not necessarily like fairy figures, but I think the Fae are such a part of Celtic mythology and tradition that all of these deities in some fashion are usually kind of related to the Fae in some way. So you have these illustrations, and on the other side you get their name, 3 keyword associations, and then like magical associations to go with them. And you get this, what do you call those? Sigils to go with them. So again, you can use this in so many ways. I have used it as a regular oracle. It's really cool that way. But the whole idea is that in the guidebook, it kind of instructs you to pull out the cards with keywords that fit your intention, to almost like build a sentence. And then you can create a spell around it by combining the sigils if you want, and then again, it's all up to your own discretion, but it gives you these associations that you can pull out and use as well. So it's been really cool. I don't always necessarily pull out multiples, sometimes it's just one, but I'm not really someone, again, who does much intentional spell work, but this deck has made it really accessible for me, and it's just kind of fun to play around with. So, that is the Fairy Enchantments. I don't know if it's really called a spell deck, but deck, for sure, by Ian Daniels. And that, my friends, is my final deck of my 2022 deck collection series. So thank you so much for hanging out with me through these videos, if you have been keeping up with them. But other than that, I hope you're all having a lovely, I think I'm posting this on the 1st, so very first day of the new year, and I will see you again very soon.